Welcome to the group, Shauna Ray Designs. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is my first video, so I'm super excited. We're going to be making this 14-inch buffalo plaid wreath today. So I'm going to kind of give you a step-by-step guide on how to do that. The first thing you'll need is about 20 yards of 1.5-inch wire ribbon. I got this wire ribbon here from Joann Fabrics. It was on sale. Combined, I got the two of them for about $6.50. Now the truck I got from the Dollar Tree, you can choose a different one if you like. And then the wreath picks I also picked up at Joann Fabrics. I got them on a half-off sale for about $1.50. You can use whatever wreath you like. You also need a 14-inch wreath form. If you go larger, that's fine. Just keep in mind that you'll need more ribbon. Alrighty, step one. We're going to tie the ribbon to the wreath form here. I like to tie it on the inner part of the circle. That's just kind of my preference. You could use the outer. You definitely don't want to go for the middle. But again, I like to tie it towards the inner part here. Okay, so we're gonna set up to start basically looping our ribbon through each segment, and we're gonna loop it in rows, and there are basically 3 rows if you look at it that way. 1, 2, 3, the segments within the wreath form here. So the direction in which the ribbon is extended out currently, you actually want your ribbon to be extended out from the wreath form. You'll be able to really just work with it a lot easier if you do it this way here. So pulling my ribbon through, making my first loop, thinking about size, okay? How big do you want to make this? You could make it larger like so, but if you do it larger, then you're going to have to use more ribbon as you go around the entire wreath form. So you're going to need more ribbon. So keep that in mind. I like the more taut size, the smaller size. I think it's nice for what we're aiming for towards the end here, because we are going to take each ribbon and twist it and move it around and give it that really nice clean look. So as you can see, I have a row here. I'm feeling pretty good about this row, and right here I'm at the end of the segment, so I'm just checking to make sure that I'm still at the end of the segment. Moving on to step 3, I'm going to twist the ribbon at the bottom here now that I have one complete roll. And then I'm just going to take the ribbon and pull it down to where I began here at the inner part of the loop. And I'm going to give it a twist there, okay? So I'm setting up to begin my first row. I'm still twisting a little bit, checking out my ribbon. Make sure that it is, going away and not toward the inner part of the circle of the wreath there. Remember that it needs to be going away so that you can work with it a lot easier, and that it feeds through and gives you what it is you're needing. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more of a twist, feeling like maybe it needs an extra twist here, especially since it is the first row. Right, starting the second row, I'm going to pull the loop through here, and I'm going to match it up with the first row. So you want it to be the same size as the first row, and you want it to be the same size all the way around. But I'm telling you, these first few rows are probably the most crucial because it's going to set the stage for the rest of your wreath. And now I'm just kind of playing with it, making sure that I love it, the position is good, and then I'm going to twist, okay? So remember that step, you have to twist at the end, and then I'm going to pull the ribbon down towards the middle. So you're holding on to that and kind of pinching where I've twisted there, and then I'm going to, after I do that twist, you pull it down toward the end and you give it another twist. So we're essentially repeating what we did with the first row with the second row. And then we're going to continue doing that as we work around the wreath. If you guys feel like you missed a step or didn't get one quite clear enough, go back and rewind the video, and you can pause at those steps and kind of see what I'm doing, or drop me a note in the comments and ask me questions. So I'm feeling pretty good about the amount of ribbon that I have on the wreath, and I think that I'm gonna end here. So I'm just gonna give it a little twist and tie it around one of the wires of the wreath form and snip off the ribbon. Okay, so now the fun begins. We're gonna take each loop and turn them 90 degrees. You can see there, I turned just the one. So you're gonna do that with each loop, and I do it row by row. I like to do it that way because you can stick your fingers through each end and kind of meet in the middle bow, and you have your row. You can see here that I have a nice clean row, and I'm gonna do that all around the entire wreath. So I've made it around the wreath, and this is what it looks like. So it's looking pretty good, but it's not quite finished yet. So I'm gonna go back through and look for anything that needs to be twisted a little more or needs to be reshaped. And I'm just gonna do that until I feel really good about how the wreath looks. And to be honest, I probably fluffed the entire wreath all over again. Here it is. I'm ready to move on to the next step. I'm going to attach my wreath picks and my Christmas tree truck. So I basically just stuck my wreath picks through the wreath form. And I'm going to take the jewelry wire that I had on hand, and I'm going to tie it around the wreath picks and the wreath form in 3 different sections. I'm going to tie it on there, twist it pretty good so that I can make sure that it doesn't fall off when I hang it up on the door. So I'm going to give the wreath picks a little tug and make sure that they're in there really well. Then I'm going to set up to put the truck on. And basically you're just going to put a whole lot of glue on the back of that truck and adhere the truck itself to the ribbon. Believe it or not, it will stay on. So don't be afraid to use hot glue. Use all the hot glue that you want to use. Hot glue is your friend. It fixes just about anything. Now that I have it flipped over, I'm going to lift the truck up, see where I need some more glue, add it, flip it over again, add even more glue, and I'm just going to keep adding glue until I feel like that truck's going to stay on there. Alrighty, now I'm just making a couple of last adjustments here, making sure it looks perfecto. Here it is. Thank you for joining me.